Life Unrehearsed, brought to you by Lianas Senior Transition Support, helping you navigate home care and senior residences.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Life Unrehearsed. My name is Matt Delvecchio, specializing in life transitions, elder care planning, and the senior living industry. Corey is off today. Coming up on today's show, she makes pastries by day and designer cakes by night. Meet the 22-year-old dynamo and founder of Pastry Plug Montreal. And then on the second half of Life Unrehearsed, you're going to meet Kirsten Bennett. She's an elder care planner who provides support and guidance for families and their loved ones throughout the aging process and navigating their life transitions. I hope everyone is enjoying their Saint Jean-Baptiste weekend. Maybe taking a break and relaxing. You know, speaking of taking a break, in fact, Corey and I will be off air this summer. Yes, so this will be our last show before we get a little bit of a summer break. We're looking forward to that, and we're going to be back strong in September. But thanks for joining us here. All right, I'd like to bring in Haley Budzina-Sturrock. Haley is 22 years old, a mother of a 2-year-old, a professional pastry chef and cake decorator since 2017 by day, and then by night, she's created a small home-based business located in the West Island where she makes designer desserts. So glad to have you on the show, Haley. Welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I would like to say thank you so much to Corey as well, even though she's not here. I really appreciate it so much.
Our pleasure. Boy, we've been looking forward to this, and you are one busy camper, a mom working a full-time job, your side hustle that's turning into a big side hustle. So let's go back a little bit, Haley. How did you get into this type of work?
So I got into pastry making because my dad was a cake decorator for many years. So when I was younger, he used to make me and my sisters all of our birthday cakes. And each year it used to be a different theme of something that we really liked. So when I got older, I decided I wanted to do cake decorating for my career. And when I was graduating high school, I heard about PAC in LaSalle, and it offers a cake decorating program. So I applied for it, and that's how I got started. And once I graduated, I've been making pastries ever since.
Obviously now in your DNA. So I have to say, what drew you to making desserts? Let's, specifically desserts, baking, as opposed to other types of cooking.
I've definitely been more drawn towards desserts, as I've never been good at cooking. So my main focus has always been desserts. I really like that you can make different designs, different themes, different characters. I also used to watch a lot of baking content when I was younger, like Cake Boss or YouTube channels about baking. So I was really inspired by baking and desserts in general. And just every time I cook, it's just never been as good as when I bake. So,
well, I love hearing that because I think certainly on the media, and like you say, Cake Boss, it was all trendy, and many, many people said, you know what, I think that's what I want to do, but do they actually go through with it? Maybe not all the time. However, not only did you go for it in your job, your day job, but now you've created this wonderful little company, if I can, and you're doing some designer desserts by night, but you're running a home business. You're a busy mom. Can you tell us about some of the challenges of having your own home business?
Some of the challenges of having a home business is that all the work really is up to you. You have to work super hard to assume all the positions that, let's say, that a bakery would have. So just as one person, you need to measure all the ingredients, you need to mix, you need to bake, you have to cool, you have the dishes, the cleaning, there's packaging. Every single detail is performed by solely you. So you need to be very committed. It's a lot of pressure just on one person, but if you're motivated, you could definitely do it.
Definitely, you wear beyond just your pastry chef hat, many, many hats running your own business. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed. Matt Delvecchio here, and we're talking to 22-year-old, that's right, I said 22-year-old business owner of Pastry Plug Montreal, Haley Budzina-Sturrock. Haley, I've been on your Facebook page, Instagram. Your designs, your desserts are really, really good, I have to say. So I'm interested to hear, where do you get your inspirations from?
So for my inspirations and my designs, I use Instagram, I use TikTok, YouTube, a lot of different social medias. I also love characters, so I make a lot of my like theme cakes or cupcakes based on different characters. But my favorite platform right now is TikTok because people do 1-minute tutorials on how to make different things. So it's really easy and really quick to pick up new tricks and new recipes.
You know, you're talking to an old guy here, and when you say TikTok and picking up recipes here and there, it makes a lot of sense from a 22-year-old. So that's very interesting. So basically, you're seeing these little 1-minute clips, not going on forever, and you get to get some great ideas, I guess.
Of course.
You know, it's we talked about the challenges, Haley, of running a home business, but let's face it, you're also a mom. You're working as a full-time job as a baker. You've got your own company. How in the world do you manage it all at 22 years old?
How I manage all of this, it just comes down to a lot of self-motivation and self-drive. Don't give up. Like, I'm a person with a lot of energy, so I like to keep busy. So all this work, it really feels like it's worth it to me in the end. I also work super hard just for my family and my 2-year-old son. I also spend a lot of time with my son while I'm working, so that too. And I drink a lot of iced coffee, so that definitely helps.
I just hope you don't give your 2-year-old son a little extra icing too often. It might be a little wired while you're baking.
He loves it. He loves it. His favorite is the carrot cake.
The carrot cake. Actually,
yes.
My wife's favorite as well is carrot cake. That's so fun, being able to do that with your son. Entering terrible twos, Haley. Look out. You gotta keep everything around nice and close to you. All right. You know, you mentioned Cake Boss, but you know, are you watching any other baking shows, or what are your thoughts about these baking shows? Are some of them not realistic, or others very inspiring to you? What are your thoughts about those?
So I think that the most realistic baking show would probably be Is It Cake? There is a time frame, but I think if you're a experienced or talented cake artist, you could definitely make anything in a time limit.
Interesting, but it you know, it's true. And hey, if it is going to give you some ideas, I mean, tons of baking shows out there, but you are certainly taking it to a whole new level. I have to ask you, you know, when we talk about a whole new level, Haley, what's the craziest, most original dessert that you've ever made, or perhaps you're the most proud of?
The most original dessert I've ever been requested to make was by a customer. She had requested for her son a giant penguin cake, and they also requested that the penguin was wearing a birthday hat. So I made everything out of fondant, and the penguin was huge in the end, and it was definitely the biggest cake that I had ever made, and so much fun to make, and they were just so happy with the results, and I was very happy with the results as well.
Well, my goodness, and I'm just picturing it, you know, with a cake of that size. I mean, are you doing these things from your home baking, or do you have specialized ovens and equipment that could do something of this size? How do you do that?
Oh, I just do it all in my regular oven, but I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials. I look up everything on YouTube, how to make a penguin, how to make anything, and I just create it myself using all my equipment that I have.
Good for you. Have to be creative. I'm sure when you get these, we'll call it the abnormal designs and so on. Well, you know what? You are a multitasker, obviously, being a mom, a young mom, and doing a couple of jobs now. We're talking to Haley Budzina-Sturrock here on Life Unrehearsed. Matt Delvecchio, and Haley is the business owner of Pastry Plug Montreal, also a baker, also a mom, all at 22 years old. Haley, we do have to head out to traffic, but when we come back, you know, people are fussy about food, aren't they, Haley? And I'd love to hear if you've had... You do your best, but I'm sure you can't please everyone, and there must have been a disgruntled person or two. And how do you handle customer complaints as a small home business owner?
Life Unrehearsed, brought to you by Lianas Senior Transition Support, helping you navigate home care and senior residences.
And welcome back to Life Unrehearsed. Matt Delvecchio here. Corey is off today, and we are talking to the business owner of Pastry Plug Montreal, Haley Budzina Sturrock. She is the ripe old age of 22 years old, such an amazing person here, a mom also of a 2-year-old son, Becklin is his name, and a professional pastry chef and cake decorator by day. She's been doing that for several years and went out and started a small home-based business located in the West Island, which she does by night. Her hands are certainly full. Haley, welcome back. Just before traffic, we were talking about, you're wearing a lot of hats, and when you own your own business, you've got to deal, I guess, with the good and the challenging, and perhaps there are some disgruntled customers. I've seen baking shows, and there's a vision of a client that the end result from the baker might not match that vision. So how do you handle, or have you run into a situation where you've had a disgruntled customer, and how did you handle it?
Yes, I have had unhappy customers before. It's unfortunate, but not everyone is going to be happy with their order. So the most that you could do to rectify the situation is just stay calm. There's a lot of pressure and high expectations of absolute perfection. So there's been people that have abandoned cakes. There's been no-shows, complaints about colors. So the best that you could do is just listen to the feedback of the customer, listen to what they dislike about the work. And for the next order, just try to be better. Try to listen to these criticisms and be open to the criticisms and use it to be better next time.
Well, 22 years old, Haley, you are mature beyond your years, absolutely, and certainly listen, and if you could learn from things, and also, like you say, manage expectations going into it. So good on you. We talked prior about watching these shows. There were certainly, Cake Boss and so on, and it's still a lot of baking shows out there. So people are watching. There are younger people maybe deciding what they want to do in life, and maybe they want to become bakers. So you've done it. What would you advise to budding new bakers, Haley?
Don't give up. Try to make as many different things as you can. The more things you make, the more comfortable you're going to feel with different procedures. Also, the more experience you'll have. So always record your results, take pictures to see your progress. But most importantly, just keep trying. Don't be afraid to make mistakes as you're working on it. It's just part of the process to becoming perfect. So no matter what, just keep working hard towards being the perfect baker.
It's interesting, great advice, and you talked about, taking pictures. I'm interested, this is very visual, and I would imagine social media is important for you, or you have a Facebook page, Instagram. What do you do to get the word out and I guess show off what you're able to do?
I take a lot of pictures and videos, and I post it to my 2 pages. So I have a page on Instagram and Facebook, and both of them are called Pastry Plug Montreal. So that's where I post most of my content. I try to make something different every day and post pictures of it, and I also sell a lot of my stuff that I make on there as well. So definitely check it out.
It's very interesting how you not only is it a way to display your expertise, but it is also a way to sell it as well. Coming from an older generation here, it's nice to hear how you're able to incorporate social media, and this is obviously a very important platform for you, not just to market, but to also sell. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed with Matt Delvecchio here, and we're talking with 22-year-old business owner of Pastry Plug Montreal, Haley Budzina Sturrock. Haley, I have to ask you about your family and their reaction. I believe, mom and dad, you've got a couple younger sisters. How have they been reacting to all this?
My family is very happy. My dad, he used to make cakes, so he's actually helped me a few times with some orders that were a little too complicated, so he stepped in and helped me. And he has a lot of experience, so he's given me a lot of tips as well. Even when I was in pastry school, my dad used to make buttercream flowers with me and stand next to me and show me how to make it. So he's really helped me a lot throughout my whole journey. And now that I'm finished and I'm working on my own business, they're just ecstatic. My younger sister, too, she also does artwork, so she's making me business cards for my business. They're more than happy to support.
I love it. It is all in the family. A way to go, Mom and Dad, and your sisters for supporting you and cheering you on. It certainly is exciting as you make progress as you're growing. I have to bring in the mom side of you now, Haley. You've got a 2-year-old son. His name is Becklin. As you mentioned before, he's kind of hanging around watching you cook and loves carrot cake. So on the mom side of things, I mean, you are so busy. How do you even find time for your son?
All the time. While I'm working, I'm spending time with my son the whole time. It's just, you have to be very good at multitasking to do this. To be a mom is all about multitasking. I mean, when you have a kid, you have 1,000,001 things going on at once. You have your tasks, plus you have your business too. So, I mean, you have to be really good at multitasking. And my son, he is definitely interested in the cakes. There's been a few times where he's climbed on the table to get fondant and he's eaten it. And he's eaten pieces of cake before that he shouldn't have been eating. Like, he definitely loves cake.
Well, it must be in your DNA. And as you mentioned, even Dad was baking. So, it goes up the ladder and who knows? Maybe your son's going to be a baker later on in life. Well, that's so good to hear. I'd be very interested, Haley. Things I'm sure are happening very quickly as a budding entrepreneur, also working, also being a mom. Things change. You have to adjust on the fly. Have you started looking down the road a little bit? Any thoughts on growth and what's next on your agenda?
Well, I'm saving my money, and one day I would love to have my own cake shop where I would be able to sell my cakes and cupcakes in an actual store. That's really my big dream.
Well, you know what? Keep living your dreams. You're obviously, your work ethic is there, again, beyond mature beyond your years at 22 years old. And good on you. Keep working and keep those, raise that bar. And you know what? It won't be very long, I am sure, and I'm convinced, before you have that shop. So I'd love to know, Haley, if people want to order your, your desserts, and what's the best way to do this?
Just reach me on my Facebook or my Instagram page. Send me a picture of anything you'd like, and I'll be able to let you know what I could do for you, the price range. Usually it goes by serving, so if it's a larger cake, it's going to be a little bit more pricey than a smaller cake. But yeah, I could make basically anything for you. So just hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll be able to help you there.
So interesting. So the way to go about it is actually send a picture. That's a lot of pressure on you, Haley, just because that expectation of that picture, you've got to sort of replicate that. Can't be easy.
No, but usually they send multiple pictures, and I let them know what I could do for them. Or I could send pictures of my work as well, because I've made a lot of different themes already, so sometimes I have a picture of what they're looking for, and that makes it even easier.
Got it. Very good. All right. Well, Haley, we want to thank you for coming on the show. We wish you much success and regards to your son, of course, and not too much carrot cake for him.
Of course. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. It means the world to me.
All right. Well, thank you, and good luck, Haley. That's Haley Budzina Sturrock. She's the owner of Pastry Plug Montreal, and you can look up Pastry Plug Montreal Instagram page, Facebook page, and really, we talk about millennials and perhaps they're a little bit silver spoon. When you hear stories like this of Haley, there is hope and just such a great story.